It's the Mustang Insider Show. Now, here's Chris Sylvester, the voice of the Mustangs.
Welcoming you to another edition of the Mustang Insider Podcast, where we catch you up on everything Cal Poly Athletics. I'm Chris Sylvester. I will be joined by Chris Coleman, wide receiver of Cal Poly football. The Mustangs are kicking off a new year on national TV Thursday night, 7:30 Pacific kick at Fresno State on FS1. Before we get going, we'd like to thank our sponsors for making this content possible. Dignity Health, offering all-star treatment you can trust. Learn more about their healthcare services. Visit dignityhealth.org/Central Coast. And by Grocery Outlet, sizzling fajitas, hearty beef sliders, bite-sized mini taco cups, and a mouth-watering Southwest chicken bowl. Mustang fans, you won't want to miss these dishes in the Grocery Outlet Mustang Tailgater Recipe Book. Get all your fresh ingredients at Grocery Outlet San Luis Obispo store on Madonna and feast on these yummy tailgating favorites before a game or at home. Just download the Mustang Tailgater booklet today on gopoly.com/publications. All right, Chris Coleman, senior receiver on the Cal Poly football team, is our guest this week. Chris, thanks for taking some time. After a long off season, how excited are you to get this new year started?
Couldn't be more excited. You know, this has been a long off season. It's been a lot of work put in, and we just ready to show everybody like what we've been doing this last 8-7 months of quietness. You know, nobody knows what's going on in Cal Poly football. Nobody knows, with the different position quarterback changes and different things like that. Nobody knows what's going on. So now it's time to show everybody like what we've been doing lately.
Yeah, for college football fans, these 8-9 months can be the most excruciating. I mean, it is the longest offseason in sports. You're about ready to get back to it. Thursday night, national TV. You head out to Fresno State. We'll touch on that connection in a moment. But for those that don't know, Chris Coleman, you spent your first 4 college seasons at Fresno State. Cal Poly's week 1 opponent on the docket. You scored a touchdown against these guys at their place last season. But this year's matchup might be a little more special for you, considering Jeff Tedford is back at the helm of that program. He was the head coach when you picked Fresno State coming out of high school. Talk to me a little bit about that relationship, how special it was last season, and how maybe more special it'll be to go back this year.
Yeah, it was super special. You know, I had gotten to come from Fresno State and then got to play season 1, first time being at Cal Poly, and then obviously that was still a staff that I knew very well. But now, the emotions are way higher considering the fact that Tedford's back, and he's a guy who saw something in me coming out of high school, coming out of Bakersfield, and he knew that I could play at that level and play at the college level. And I'm just super excited to be able to show him what I've turned into, what I've been working on, and the different things that, he had talked to me when I was a young guy. I'm 5 years later from that time that he brought me in. So I just can't wait to see, him see me play as well as I'm hoping to play.
Chris Coleman, wide receiver, Cal Poly football, our guest. The Mustangs' leading receiver a year ago, 43 catches, 590 yards, 4 tubs. Now that you've had a complete offseason with this coaching staff, how much better do you feel going into 2022?
I've probably felt the best I've ever felt coming out of this offseason, going into this new year. I love Coach Baldwin. I love the staff he put together. I love how Coach Baldwin, puts his football teams together and how he uses different pieces. And I'm extremely excited to see how he's going to call plays and how he manages a football game. I've been around some good offenses and some great defenses, and I'm excited to see where our offense matches up with the offenses that I've seen and been able to be a part of. And I know with the staff that we got and the players that we have the ability to be one of those really explosive offenses and an explosive football team that in a way kind of just shocks the world, because I don't really think that there's a lot of talk about, Cal Poly being any different than what they've shown in the last some odd years. And what people have no idea is that this is the first time we've had an off season, and this off season has projected us in the right direction more than what I could even put on paper or even say in words. It's just time to prove it all. It's time to show the work that we've been putting in, and it's time to put it on national TV for everybody to see.
And the Big Sky Conference at this level, as good as it gets. You represented Cal Poly along with Dustin Grine up at the Big Sky Media Days last month in Spokane,
Yeah.
Washington. I know you kind of echoed some of those same things. You've had an interesting journey. I mean, you in high school, a couple of different high schools. You finished at Garces Memorial. You were playing some quarterback in high school, I was reading. And even at Fresno State, at one point, they had moved you over to defense. So going into what's your last chapter of college football, and I know you have aspirations to play at the next level as well, but I mean, you look back at your journey. I mean, you've been all over the place. How good does it feel to kind of just be settled as maybe Cal Poly's top target coming into this new season?
It feels really good. As I've learned through college and coming out of high school through college, that there's no, direct path to the dreams that everybody wants when they finish with football. There's no certain way of going about it. And I think me having the history that I have and playing on this side of the ball and playing with this coaching staff and being here and doing this gives me a really good leg up to be put in a position to be a top target for our offense and somebody who's poised and understands, the game and understands the highs and lows that a football game can bring in a season as well. And it's just I could just only ever thank the people that that put me in those different positions of being resilient and being on offense and then having to switch to defense and possibly being with this coaching staff and just understanding that at the end of the day, we're playing football, and I've been doing this my whole life, and it doesn't matter, who's my coach or who's stepping in front of me. I've been working on my game for a long time, and as a team, we've been working on our game, and we're, like I said, we're just ready to put it all out on the line.
Now, Spencer Brash, you mentioned him. He's your starting quarterback. He comes back after last season. He started all the games he was healthy for or healthy enough for in 2021. How do you like the continuity between you and your quarterback? And how do you feel about this receiving core? I see a lot of talent out there. I see a lot of depth. There are a lot of dudes that can make plays for this team.
Yeah, I feel really good. I feel the timing is on. The play calling is on. The balls that he's been throwing have been really good. We have some new additions like Bryson Allen coming out of COS Visalia area, who's also well known around that area. So we also have younger guys like Giancarlo Woods and Jake Woods, a transfer from NAU. So I think it's big time that Spencer and the other quarterbacks have been so spot on with what's going on, and Coach Baldwin calling the plays understands the type of body types we have and the type of athleticism that we have that we're able to bring to the table as an offense. And he's ready to put us in the positions that we need to be put into, and Spencer's ready to get us the ball in the positions that we're ready to get the ball and be open for him.
And Nick Edwards was your offensive coordinator last year. He took a job with the Atlanta Falcons in the
Yeah.
offseason. I look at the staff. You've got a run game coordinator, you got a pass game coordinator, but there's nobody with that official offensive coordinator title. So how's those relationships been with your coaches, kind of trying to figure out how to perfect some things on offense and be able to put up points on a nightly basis during weekends this fall?
Yeah, no, I think it's honestly, without having that one title guy who's the offensive coordinator, I think it's honestly been probably the best thing that we could have done. Now we have the opportunity to have our run coordinator and our quarterbacks coach and our receivers coach to all implement themselves into the offense and to all say, what our strengths might be, what our weaknesses might be, and how we can match that up to give us the best possibility or the best chance to win. And so I'd honestly say that it's a really good thing that we don't have a one specific offensive coordinator or one specific guy who the offense has to run through and it has to go through his mind. We have a lot more, I'd say, you could call it like a community-based coaching where, we're getting ideas from here, and going through drills. Okay, we can see this guy can do this, but we don't have very many guys that could do this. So when we run a play like this, we got to have, this type of movement. And I think it's the best thing, like I said, that could happen to us because now we have a full range of different ideas that are coming all together to create one powerful offense.
Now, you spent a lot of time in the Valley. You're from Bakersfield. You went to Fresno State, got a degree from there. I know you're working on your master's here at Cal Poly. How
Yes.
nice is it to be out on the coast after all those years in the Valley? I mean, you're a short ride from the beach. I'm looking at some of the temperatures with this upcoming heat wave this weekend. It's like 108, 110 out that way. We might not even be touching 90, 95 out here.
Yeah. I'm a Valley kid to heart. So when the heat comes, I think I'd be able to stay poised, stay together. But it's a blessing to be, this close to the ocean and have the weather that we have and be able to practice and be able to push ourselves in that kind of weather. But like I said, at the end of the day, we've been doing this for so long, whether the heat is freezing cold or it's extremely hot, we got to be able to go out there and perform. And I think we've had very difficult practices to where we put ourselves in those positions to, if not, we're not battling the heat, we're definitely battling the fact that we are going to run and be conditioned so that way when the heat comes and it is kind of draining, we have that extra battery to bring us together and to be able to move forward and fight through whatever football game or whatever football team we're going through, as well as the cold. I know we're on the coast, but I would say it does get a little bit cold at times here, which they never believe me, but I promise you, it gets a little cold.
Yeah, it's those early morning practices. Sometimes you need to wear the long sleeves, and sometimes at night the
Yeah,
temperatures get down into the 50s. It's something you got to bring a sweater for. So you popped your name
yeah.
into you popped your name to the transfer portal when you were done at Fresno State. You knew you were a grad guy. You knew you had 2 years of eligibility left. When did you get in touch with Cal Poly, and why'd you wind up picking Cal Poly when you probably could have gone elsewhere?
I wound up picking Cal Poly solely because of Coach Baldwin and Coach Edwards at that time. I knew where he was coming from. I knew watching him on TV, watching Cal play, watching the offense that he was the coordinator of, I thought it would be a really good idea, regardless of the school being known for academics or the school being known for football. I understand that as long as you dominate the area and you dominate your position and the competition that you play against, if you want a chance to play at the next level, you'll get a chance to play at the next level. And they told me that if I came here, I'd get a great education. I would finish getting a great education, and I would be, in the running to be one of the top targets on the football team. And honestly, it's hard to turn that down in this game, especially with the portal being as open as it is. Anybody could come in and be better than you on paper or something like that, and they give them the same shot. But I think the biggest thing was they kept true to their word, and I kept true to my word that I would work hard and that I would show them that I'm still the same player that I came from Fresno State, and I'm not gonna let me having whatever issues that I had at Fresno State, putting myself into the portal to come here, bring that along. And I would bring a new slate, and I would just be super open and willing to be coached like I was a brand new guy. And they embraced me, and I couldn't be more thankful for Coach Baldwin allowing me to come. Because what a lot of people don't know is you can go into the portal, but there's plenty of people that never come out, and there's also plenty of people that won't necessarily take a grad guy because he's an older cat. He might not want to listen to what we have to say, or he might not be as coachable. And the fact that he was willing to take a chance on me and understand, I have 2 years left, and I'm super willing to be coached. That's really all I was looking for, was to be coached and for somebody to take a chance on me. And Coach Baldwin and Coach Edwards and the rest of the staff that Coach Baldwin put together took a chance on me. And I'm really hoping that I can pay it back somehow, some way. And I'm thinking in my head I'm gonna pay it back this season by just going, balls to the wall, excuse my language.
Going crazy, right? Getting on that
Great.
different level, something like that. You sound very optimistic about this season in front of you guys. Obviously, in what was really Bo Baldwin's first season with this program, transitioning away from the triple option last year, you figured that you guys would take your lumps. It didn't hurt when Spencer Brash got hurt that early in the season. I know you were dealing with some injuries throughout last year, even in games you were playing in. So how much different are the vibes around this team? And I mean, why is this team going to be better than what we saw in 2021?
for one, this team is going to be better than what we saw in 2021 because we had an off season to really figure out what's our offensive identity. Last year we kind of had to come into the game and we still had COVID issues here, players being out here and coaches being out there. This year we've been able to go 8, 9 months straight of no interruptions, of lifting, of meeting, understanding the offenses or understanding our offense and even getting into the fact where we're starting to understand defenses and understanding defensive personnel and what a defense might want to do against an offense like us, which only gives us more knowledge to be able to run our offense against another defense. So at the end of the day, us having this off season, because what a lot of people don't know is Coach Baldwin has been here for 3 years, I believe so now, but he's never had an off season due to COVID. So when you transfer from a triple option team where you go out and you recruit specific guys for that type of offense, you have to be able to mold them and to be able to kind of change the way they've been playing the last some odd years to be able to pass block, to be able to, start running routes and different things. We're no longer just handing the ball off downhill 60, 40 times a game. Now we're throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game. And that's a totally different identity as an offense. And what a lot of people don't understand is that does take a little bit of time. That does take correct recruiting. And reason why I feel so optimistic about this season is because we got the opportunity to get those right recruits and we got the opportunity to get the correct transfers. And we've had the opportunity to have the off season where we can lift and where we can meet and go over our offense and go over how we want to attack defenses, not how defenses are going to attack us.
I know you really like your quarterback, Spencer Brash. The one on the other side that you're going to see here in week one is a very special quarterback, Jake Haener, a guy that you played with and probably in some practices when you moved over to defense the year before you got to Cal Poly, maybe had some reps against. So have you been able to help the Cal Poly defense at all kind of prepare for what they're going to see? I know you guys saw Haener last year, but a new year means new schematics. They've got a new staff over there as well.
Yeah, I've done my best. I've done my best to try to let them know to understand, like, hey, he's a good ball player. If you play your keys correctly, you play the man in front of you correctly. We'll just play things from the top down. We know they want to throw the ball. We know they have one of the better, or if not best, receiving cores kind of in the nation. We know that. So we know they want to come out and throw the ball. But I've been trying to tell, our defense, like, hey, we can relax. We can get after this guy. We can fluster him. He's a hell of a player. Don't get me wrong, but he also ties his shoes the same way we tie ours. And we need to be able to understand that, yeah, FBS, you see him on commercials, you see him doing this and this and that. That's just a part of the game. But he's still a football player just like you are. And I wanted to make sure that we understood that we're all the same in this. FBS, FCS is football.
Period. Have you ever look? It sounds like there's a lot of football left in you, even beyond your college days here. And I know you mentioned you aspire to play at that next level. And under Bo Baldwin, I mean, there have been some terrific receivers to go on and play at the next level. Obviously, Cooper Kupp is the big name that everybody's been talking about since Bo got hired at Cal Poly. But man, I mean, the way you kind of break things down, do you feel like you might have a future in coaching or commentating or something like that when your days are over as a football player?
Yeah, I do actually. Definitely. Coach Baldwin doesn't know this. Maybe he'll see it, but I hope one day, once I'm done with, what I'm doing after football, trying to get to the next level, I hope that he's willing to bring me in and kind of take me under like he did Coach Edwards, because a lot of people don't know, but Coach Edwards had been with Coach Baldwin since he was 17 years old, going all the way till he was about 26, 20, 27, had 2 kids and everything. And he was able to mentor him and bring him in the game. And if I could get that opportunity, I would full-fledged take it. But I do definitely have aspirations. And, as this season has came up, I've gotten the opportunity to really sit down with the NFL scouts and speak to them. And I understand, like, okay, this is how they need you to articulate yourself to them. They don't know you and they're willing to invest money in you. They're going to find out what type of guy you are. So I've been, working on being more vocal and working on being able to articulate myself a little bit better. And hey, if commentating comes into the game, I wouldn't mind commentating. I know the game of football. I enjoy it.
Yeah, we might need to get you into the booth sometime, a long ways down the road when your playing days have come to an end. Chris, really appreciate your time. Where can Cal Poly fans, football fans, follow you on social media, follow your journey this season and beyond?
All social media platforms are NBAXCC. Everybody calls me CC, so I put that in there just so everybody knew. But NBAXCC on all social media.
Is it like M as in Mustang, or is it N like national?
Oh, no, it's in like National Basketball Association,
Okay.
XCC. I used to love basketball. I
Good
was a big
stuff.
basketball guy, and then my coach told me I couldn't play, so I was okay.
Well, I think you've settled into this football thing pretty nicely. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck this week, and hope to talk to you down the line this season.
This has been the Mustang Insider Show. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Cal Poly Sports Network.